This is going to be a week of growth. So, could be emotional growth, could be growth in knowledge, prosperity. Okay. So, welcome back. This is Jessica Loper here for your weekly energy update for creatives. It is the week of May 19th. So, as far as the moon goes, we're in our waning phase now. So, this can be a week of coming back to self a little more. Take some time for yourself. Carve out some time for, some meditation or journaling. Whatever, take a walk, take a hike, something where you're coming back to just you and taking that internal time. Okay, that is going to just be really important too, with this week of growth. Okay, we have the sun entering Gemini on the 20th, so that's where we're getting this extra growth from. Okay, so I want you to take a moment to just acknowledge any growth you've had emotionally. All right. And we are in a time where there is so much more awareness around emotion, emotional maturity, emotional growth, and just how important that is. Okay. So, can we just acknowledge that for a moment? Like humanity has evolved to actually, not everyone, right? Not everyone, but a lot of people are so much more in touch and in tune with their emotions than they used to be. Mothers are raising their children to be more emotionally aware as we're, figuring it out. So I am 40 years old. I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I grew up in a home where I don't feel like there was a lot of emotional awareness, but it just wasn't a thing back then. Like, I truly believe my parents did the best they knew how. They were parenting the way they were parented. It was just conditioning, generational, going down. I wouldn't say they were cold or totally off or anything. Like, I still felt loved, and I absolutely love and adore my parents, and I have a lot of great childhood memories, but it was a different time. It was a different time, and there just wasn't the education and knowledge around emotional awareness that there is now. And I love that I get to teach that to my children, but I'm also learning it myself. So it's like, it's just interesting. It's an interesting thing to experience. Getting more in touch with my own emotions and my own healing journey this past decade, while also trying to parent in a way where I hold that kind of space for them and teach them, to embrace the full range of emotions. It's been interesting for sure. Okay, so I just wanted to acknowledge that and invite you to just look, and maybe your childhood experience is totally different than mine, but I just have to acknowledge that and reflect. But it just kind of comes back to now, like, where have I grown emotionally now? And like just reflecting back recently. Just I've come a long way. Have you come a long way? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Like, do you feel like you've had the emotional growth? And we're going to be experiencing more of that. It could come through in the form of like prosperity, abundance, career, relationships. All right. Acknowledging the growth. It's important. It's important to pat yourself on the back for how far you've come and just be open to that continued knowledge that is coming through, continued growth that is coming through. This may be a week where you do feel drawn to maybe looking more at things like learning and knowledge. So if there's something you've been wanting to learn, maybe it's enrolling in a class or just working on your creative ideas. Maybe it's a business. Like, feels like a good time to just look at that and just go where you feel guided. Follow your intuition. Okay. All right, so I've also pulled a card for this week from Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray, and the card that came out is Green Tara. Okay, so Green Tara, this card represents supreme protection, reminding you that you are protected and it is safe to be in your body. Okay, so it also represents moving forward. Okay, so if there's something that you've recently overcome, that's been a challenge, it feels like there's going to be some movement there. Like maybe you're going to gain some clarity. I think this is a good follow up to the previous week too, because last week I was talking about how it was the close of a chapter and the beginning of a new chapter. Okay, so last week represented this new chapter, and just kind of embracing the unknown and the mystery of the new chapter. And it's like this week now, it's kind of like you kind of have to breathe and go, oh, there are things in the past, you know? There are things. There is the chapter that has closed. That is not a part of my story anymore. That is not who I am anymore. Okay, so it's helping you. This week is helping you to just maybe realize that you are in this new energy. You are in this new chapter. Okay, and it's safe to move forward in that. It is safe to move forward. Okay, because sometimes we feel more sometimes we feel more comfortable in the old, right? So just take a moment to say, you know what? I released that old stuff and it is safe for me to move forward. Okay, I also pulled a card from the Healing Mantra deck by Kahn, and the card is Greeting Wellness. This card represents the balance being key to a life of miracles. Okay, so this is just reminding you to just kind of look at your patterns of instant gratification or, those things that, I don't know, maybe it's too much coffee or too much TV or not moving your body. I'm sure you have at least one thing that's coming to you that it's like, yeah, my body would probably be more in balance if, I did a little more of this or a little less of that. So it's just that reminder that wellness of your mind, body, and spirit is really just going to help bring more miracles into your life. So just maybe look at one thing that you could pay more attention to. Okay? Maybe it's just moving your body a little more or drinking a little more water, you know? Keep it simple. Just pick one thing. I feel like that comes a lot. If you listen to me every week, I guess we need that constant suggestion. And the thing is, when you change one habit, there's always going to be another next step of a good thing to adjust, right? Okay. I'm going to pull one more card. I'm shuffling. I haven't pulled this one yet. I'm going to pull an affirmation card from Miracles Now by Gabrielle Bernstein. Affirmation to support us this week. I pray before I pay. I pray before I pay. Okay. So I think it's just like saying get in tune. Maybe it's like an impulse buy. Like maybe that's your thing. I think it's just inviting you to, you don't have to jump into anything. If you have a big decision to make, like sleep on it, okay? And maybe just wait, don't rush on anything, take a moment, say a prayer, connect with yourself, take a walk. It just seems like, maybe there's something that you just take your time a little bit and connect first before making a decision. This says I pray before I pay. So yeah, maybe it is something that you're purchasing, but I'm just going to kind of expand on that and say, any decision this week, just be mindful. Yeah, connect with yourself before you pay or before you make a decision. Okay, so let me know in the comments if this was helpful, and I will be back next week. Be sure to follow so that you can get this update next week as well. Take care.